Welcome back to Chow Time Pods. Your host, Red. I got a video today from Ace Nate.
There's a pattern I keep seeing with a lot of women today, especially the younger ones who already have a divorce under their belt. The marriage didn't make them happy. And, not necessarily because the husband failed, but because nothing ever seems to be enough for them. And then when they get back out there, even genuinely good men still don't feel right. There's always some vague feeling they're chasing that never actually shows up. And for some, even the divorce itself, right? The big reset they've built up in their minds falls flat. And if you look into the paradox of female happiness, you'll see that since the 70s, their self-reported happiness has fallen off a cliff. In fact, we're now living in a time where men's reported happiness is actually higher than women's. And before the
For the first time in a long time.
1970s, that was not the case. So it seems that the more we've progressed as a society, female contentment has regressed.
It's just like the whole, joke thing. It's just not enough. Like women, you give women an inch, they take a foot. You give them a foot, they take a yard. Like that's women. Like you can't give them enough. There's not enough things in the world. There's not enough things invented. There's not enough things in the future to be invented to suffice their insatiate appetite of more.
I said I wouldn't talk about my dating life on here, but I feel like I cannot be the only one who feels alone in this. Just went on a first date, and this is no offense to this man, obviously. Perfectly fine, normal, lovely date. It's getting to the point, though, that that's the problem. Like, there's just nothing happening. And I just feel no sparks and no chemistry with people, and I feel bad.
Again, this is the whole, you don't have pair bonding abilities anymore. What spark do you expect to just meet someone when they're just on the first date? It's just all of a sudden, oh, he's the one.
Because I feel like it's just me. I'm going out with really handsome, accomplished, interesting people, and I feel nothing. I feel like I'm just another girl, like I'm one of a million, and there's just nothing special about me. Probably not presenting that great either.
I mean, that's most people, like men and women. Most people are just normal, average, regular, degular people.
Like that's sparkly or interesting or like dynamic at all, because I'm just so depleted. I know my person's out there, but starting to really question if I even have it in me to find them anymore. I listened to Maisie Neely's book today, and through all of the hardships she had, she just kept going and kept dating and kept seeing people, and I admire people so much that have that in them, because I just don't have it in me. I thought I was safe and I thought I was done, and like having to do this again just feels like work every time I go on a date, and it feels like so hard.
So this woman has in fact been divorced. I've seen her TikToks before. She's quite open about it, shocker. And this story here just...
but this is also why you avoid a lot of women that are just so open about everything. This is why we say vet women. Go look at their social media. What are they posting? What the hell are they talking about?
corroborates that she has a hard time feeling content, right? Feeling pleased, feeling happy. And specifically as it pertains to men, always feels like something's missing. Oh, it's not enough. Where are the sparks? Where's the connection? Where are the butterflies that I felt for my crush, my first crush when I was 14? So apparently these guys can be handsome, great prospects, well accomplished, normal, not weird. And yet, for this woman who has to put on a lot of makeup just to be willing to appear in public, these guys still aren't good enough. And you'll notice listening to her and so many of these other women that I've mentioned in the past, that when a woman is like stressed, when she's just feeling like she's had enough, she makes it very known. So she huffs and puffs, and anyone in her radius gets to experience her stress as well. And they just all seem to be so damn tired. They're all so tired.
So tired.
I believe that's a response to stress and pressure. And I think it's why we see a decline in their self-reported happiness since the 70s. They're just not great at handling all of this pressure that comes with modernity.
I mean, it's true. Since the 70s, they work more. when working and being breadwinners and trying to take care of yourself, it's just something that they've never really experienced or done in mass before. So yeah, I can see why a lot of them are having a hard time.
You know, at one point I worked with nurses, and the majority of my encounters with the female nurses were awful. I had no issues with the men, but the women made it a point to, again, huff and puff, throw around attitude, and radiate stress and passive aggression. They wanted everyone to know just how overwhelmed they were. And what stood out to me was the clear difference in how the men handled, those same duties and pressures. They were calm, steady, polite, compared to the emotional chaos that the women brought with them. And, women are also self-sabotaging, right? Pushing for divorce at insane rates, thinking
they push each other. It's not self-sabotaging. It's also friend sabotaging, like they have so many friends that also want to sabotage them, and they want to sabotage themselves. It's like a smorgasbord of sabotage.
Grass is greener, insisting on being Miss Independent, and then acting shocked, right, when the pressure breaks them, especially if they're mothers.
A lot of mothers.
One thing I believe women consistently take for granted is kind of the stabilizing force that men bring. I mean, as long as he's not, some male feminist type, but there's just something naturally grounding about masculine presence. But because that positive aspect of men,
I even think it's grounding for masculine presence to be amongst men. Sometimes when things are going crazy and you get one masculine man that kind of leads everything and it takes care of things, it also sets men in line too.
Is never highlighted. Instead they're told men are bad. Women don't appreciate it. And so they don't recognize it until it's gone. And they also forget it's crucial for children too. And so I say all that because this woman here she seems like she's breaking, like she's spiraling.
But that's a lot of women that we cover, Nate. Like I feel like a lot of these women are literally on the brink of going crazy.
And I know she's divorced. Again, seen her TikToks before. I know she doesn't have a stable man in her life. And to me, she's breaking down on camera. That's not normal behavior. And for a lot of these women,
is it though, Nate? That's something. What's normal now? Like I feel like it is normal behavior. Women going online and breaking down online. Like, that is a normal thing now.
I mean, we've seen a lot of them do it. And I just think, looking at that study or survey or whatever, talking about the paradox of female happiness, I listen to her and I hear her and it makes sense. It does. And I think about all the, the new stress and the new pressure these women are facing. It all kind of adds up. And then you start adding up, or you start including how so many of these women, they break off from any man they potentially have. Not all of them, but a lot of them are the ones initiating these divorces. There's a lot of feminist propaganda being preached to them, talking about how men are bad. And as I mentioned,
it's the they can do better thing. And I think that's what a lot of women always seem to push. They see a man do whatever that man does, and they seem to think it's never enough.
There's never talk about the positive aspects of men. Like, yes, a stabilizing force in your life. And they're not.
I mean, we talk about it. Again, I always tell you guys, every time I'm just driving down the freeway in my car, I'm just looking at my car, the innovation in my car, and then I see like the Carvana stupid tower thing, and I'm just looking at it. I'm just like, man, men built that. Like I just look at tall buildings around me. I'm just like, damn, men built this. I look at the overpass I drive over sometimes. I'm like, man, men thought of all of this and built it. Like that's how much I appreciate the men out there doing the crazy work that makes society run.
Told to even recognize that. And so I think they don't recognize it ever, perhaps until it's gone. And, they start to break like her.
I just signed the final decree for my divorce, and after a year and a half of this shit and tens of thousands of dollars later, that had to be the most anticlimactic shit I could have ever expected. It truly comes down to
like some disco ball to come down with raining balloons and confetti or something?
You, a Bic pen, the notary, and some paperwork stapled together. All the fanfare, all the excitement, all of the planning for weddings. It's so easy and fun to get married. It's hard and long and expensive
To be a
get
wife.
divorced. And
Do you not think it was expensive to get married? He had to buy you a ring, provide a wedding. Like, come on now.
then apparently it's also boring at the end too. Don't get me wrong, there's been plenty of drama throughout the entire experience. But like the moment
I'm
I've been
sure
waiting
you loved
for,
all of
the
it.
moment so many people in my life have been waiting for, and it's just like the flattest feeling ever. I'm not sad. I'm not mad. I'm just like, what the fuck? It's just another fucking Monday afternoon, I guess.
Well, I mean, what did she expect? Balloons?
Again, that's just like some fucking confetti that just fall out of the ground, and all of a sudden a new boyfriend to show up with like millions of dollars and say, "I'm ready to marry you."
Dropping from the ceiling, confetti, everybody jumping around, cheering you on.
Yeah.
You entered a marriage and it didn't work.
Remember, a divorce is seen as a failure in most people's eyes. Why would people celebrate failures?
It ended. That's a failure. There is no feminist spin that magically turns this into an achievement. At one point, you had a wedding, you said your vows, celebrated the love you claimed to have for each other,
And it wasn't enough.
and now here you are. This isn't something to be proud of.
It's not.
And yet, right, I've seen plenty of women act like divorce is something to celebrate. You know, they'll post photos, raise a glass to freedom, frame it like it's some empowering milestone. And for a lot of them, strangely, it's treated like it's like a rite of passage.
Yeah.
Like you're not truly a part of the sisterhood until you've got that
gotten
first
divorced.
divorce under your belt. It is bizarre. But, you know, that's the culture. And honestly, I could tell she fit that mold and belonged in the sisterhood, the modern sisterhood, if you will, the moment she started dropping F-bombs every other sentence. And it's not a compliment
It's not.
to be a part of that group.
I mean, it's not really a compliment to a man for saying that you cuss too much. It's definitely even worse for a woman.
At all. And, you know, the thing is, all that celebration, it's performative. Once the cameras shut off, you know, and the likes taper off from the Instagram post, and the group chat
And then we'll get, where are all the good men at?
goes quiet, she's left facing the reality of what she did. Just like this girl sitting in that kind of flat, anticlimactic kind of emotion. And sooner or later, she'll probably reach the conclusion she should have never left in the first place.
Tell you the truth, that's a lot of women reach that conclusion that they should have never left in the first place. We cover a lot of stories like this. HL Talk That Thought has a whole channel on women that are regretting their divorce. Please like, subscribe, comment down below. I really appreciate that. Catch you guys next time. Ciao.